Pfluger, the architect we're going to talk about today, built all in San Francisco. Sketch of himself. And then one of the most famous sketches he does, and one of the very few, is right here at the end, kind of the bar. And right behind those wood doors right there, just like to remember 1929. What was happening in 1929 for the country? The Prohibition. We'll take a little peek is the game room, where people still come in and play chess or checkers or
on these, I mean, their names are known?
Yeah, they're known.
Yeah.
They're probably nobody you guys would know today because they were just local. You'll notice every little bit, everything is all very special. This was all done because of Timothy Pfluger's clothing, Victorian clothing, new clothing. Here, old sailing steamboat. Steam. So you have a little bit, just telling you a little story. Then this one is come all the way out. Yeah, all I'm doing is several viewings to fully understand it. That's what art should do, is reveal itself in many different viewings. Here is a fresco painted on wet plaster, all pretty much preserved, right? And why? Because no sunlight comes into where you are right now. And why we don't allow flash photography. But it's been here, it looks like this, no renovation since 1931. So they're very, very fortunate to have it. Now, a character whose name is Calfina, representing California. Calfina is a Spanish warrior goddess from the 1500s, been told through the ages and stories about Calfina. And the name of California actually derives from the Spanish name. So Diego Rivera is going to place Calfina in the center, basically holding in her arms the riches of California. On the right side, holding agriculture, or your right side, agriculture. In her hand, holding the fruits of ground. On the left side, look at her arm reaching way down underneath, pulling up the earth. And basically everything to the left side of her is reflecting industry. Industry, agriculture, the two areas that are shared in the stock exchange. But also in the background, the shipping industry. On the left side, oil rigs. So basically part of the industrial work. Then way underneath the lower left is the mining industry. So we have somebody with a pneumatic drill mining underground coming by. We also see different characters, different people in here. Some of them composites of real people, others just basically made up. The most important person is, let's look at the person in the brown jacket with a plant right there. This gentleman, his name is Luther Burbank, a world famous horticulturalist who was famous for grafting plants together, fruits, and making new species of plants and fruits. His workshop, his farm, his house was in Santa Rosa, is in Santa Rosa. They studied him in Mexico. And they thought of him as a mystic, putting two things together and creating something new. So it was critical that Luther Burbank was going to be a part of it. It was so critical, though, this is so fun, that James Marshall is the man who finds gold up near Sutter's Fort in the American River. He's the man that picks up that shimmering piece of gold and basically starts this largest migration of human beings. The man in the purple shirt, he's basically the inventor, the engineer, basically. Engineer, he's holding his instruments there. And the guy in the blue shirt is basically the workman. And what does he have his arm on? A redwood tree. A redwood tree has been cut down. When all the Victorians are built in San Francisco, we cut down redwood trees to do that. We have one patch left, Mural Woods, but the whole bay is filled is Peter Stackpole. That is the son of Stackpole, the photographer. But he's symbolizing youth here. And what is youth holding on to? A plane, a propeller plane. And he's holding on to the propeller. Kind of symbolizing the power of youth having control. He could let go, he could hold on, he's basically in charge. And he's in the center. And one thing I forgot to tell you, Rivera rarely painted the ceiling, but he figured this was needed. So he takes Calvina in the center, actually nude, with her arms stretched out, but totally free, basically going towards the sun, which generates energy, generating he was very fascinated all with engineering and mechanical and airplanes and flights, and that shows you all this. So we have the sun, we have the planes, and then we have Calvia with her arms out. But the most strange person we have is right here in the corner, this androgynous figure that's floating. And we're not too sure why that's there, except maybe a sense of freedom and floating might be a part of it. Also, this figure is painted in a perspective that when you move around the room or go down and look up, actually stretches. It goes in different lengths. This is a mathematical way of painting that is very different to do, that Diego wanted. Most people miss it, but it's the most important piece of the drawing when you talk about politics, because what that is a river dredge. A river dredge that was used to dredge out the river streams of Sacramento looking for that gold. What does that do to the environment? Erosion. And he's commenting on here on our seeking and our search for money, erosion of earth is going to happen. So we mentioned that is a machine that is red and black. You see that? That's a wind-up generator. And what you do, you wind that up, you wind it up, and you wind it up, and then if you let go of it, it goes like this, out of control. And so very secretly, he puts one of those in there. But basically, you control it again coming by. And then, of course, the pneumatic of that brownish piece right there. And somebody said, well, that looks like the peninsula of Mexico. So that might be a stretch. But that could be a little piece of Mexico there that you might see. Anything else anybody might see?
From my experience in the last month, because I didn't join the other one,
Although I would have to think maybe this one would be the top hat, right? And that's a golf hat. So it's golf, top hat, and your business hat. It's putting on. So you're putting on 3 different hats for the work day. That's what you're doing. That's repeated back and forth.